Hey YouTube, Zach Butler here. You guys smashed those 50 likes that I had requested pretty quickly. So we're in the dual training room, just to show you some of the really basic combos with your P.U.N.K cards. Master Duel doesn't really have like a practice tool outside of like the storylines and stuff like that. So I'm gonna just kind of clip together a couple of different things and show you guys some of the basic stuff that you can do with the deck. Obviously, because I can't pick my hand, it might take a little bit longer to get some of the specific clips. So if you have any questions, let me know down in the comment section below. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and ding that notification bell so you're aware of when I make more of these videos. And if this one gets to 50 likes, I'll start doing a series of duel videos where I'm actually playing the P.U.N.K deck in game itself, so you guys can see what it's like when I'm playing against real opponents and not just running through specific combo lines. So, first up, as you can see, we have a really just standard hand here. We have our Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, Z-Amin, Gizmek, and 2 copies of the Jam Extreme Session. So this hand doesn't seem too insane, but you can actually do a lot with it. So the first thing I would do here is you would activate your Jam Extreme Session. This is just because it'll give you the ability... We're going to turn this off, actually. This will give you the ability to make sure that when you summon your Z-Amin here in a second, when you pay 600, you get to draw a card. So even if they use Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring or Infinite Permanence, Effect Failure, anything like that, you'll at least get to draw a card. So we'll use that here. And we're actually going to search for a copy of No P.U.N.K Ogre Dance. The reason for this will be pretty obvious here in a second. We're going to draw a card off of the Jam Extreme Session. And then we're going to activate the Ogre Dance. We're going to use its second effect, and we're going to send it to grave to add Sharakusai to hand. So now, you might be wondering, well, how do we get to the Sharakusai? We use the Jam Extreme Session effect here, banishing the Ogre Dance from the graveyard to special summon our Sharakusai. We'll then use Sharakusai's effect to fusion summon. So you actually have a couple of routes here. If you want to leave the Sharakusai on the field, you can. You can fuse just the 2 Z-Amins. But in this one, we're going to just go with Sharakusai and Z-Amin. Like I said, this is like a bread and butter, really basic combo. And you'll make your Rising Carp. So here, you'll use your Jam Extreme Session one more time, draw yet another card, activate your Rising Carp, and now you're going to summon your Madam Spider and your Deer Note. So in most actual games, I tend not to do the draws off the Jam Extreme Session off of the Rising Carp summon. I'm doing it just in this one just to show you really quick. I like to hold it for the Madam Spider just to make sure that I don't potentially draw the trap card, and then I can't search it. So it just kind of helps maximize your ability to get to your cards. So then here, we're going to go into our Chaos Ruler, the Chaotic Magical Dragon. Obviously, we can't do this in the TCG, which is unfortunate because this card is insane. And we're going to use Chaos Ruler as Chainlink 1, and Deer Note as Chainlink 2. Deer Note is going to actually summon back the Rising Carp here. And we'll summon that in defense position, and then we're going to Excavate our 5. And we actually just hit the perfect card. We hit the Shinobi Necro, which is the ideal card to hit, because that'll allow us to make Baron Defleur. And remember, this is all off of just Z-Amin and the field spell. So now you can actually overlay your Rising Carp and your Chaos Ruler into the Zombie Vampire. You'll use the Zombie Vampire. You will definitely want to make sure to detach the Chaos Ruler because it's really important you do that, so that way you have access to the Chaos Ruler to special summon itself back. And as you can see here, we milled some various cards. We'll just summon Gizmek in this case. The Revival Golem, I guess, is going to special summon. Doesn't really matter. And now we'll activate the Chaos Ruler, banishing the Foxy Tune and the Shinobi Necro to summon the Chaos Ruler back. And now we'll summon the Shinobi Necro as well. And then you take the Shinobi Necro and the Chaos Ruler, and you make them into a Baron de Fleur. And so this is just like your basic absolute bread and butter combo. I would like to point out that if you had instead used Sharakusai to fusion the 2 Z Almonds in the opening hand, you'd actually be able to end on a Psychic End Punisher, and maybe in another combo I'll show you how to do it. Maybe I'll get lucky and draw a hand to do that. But again, this is just off of Z Almond and Jam Extreme Session here. It lets you end on a extra body, your Zombie Vampire, and your Baron de Fleur. If your extra deck has cards like IP Masquerena and things like that, you could link those into that, and then you can have that to make a Nightmare Unicorn on their turn. It's just a lot of flexibility there in just this one combo. And obviously you would set this so just off of one card you get multiple levels of interruption and multiple levels of protection as well. So that's just combo number 1 for you. Combo number 2, we have another hand that looks pretty solid. We've got Foxy Tune, Gizmekarochi, Deer Note, Shinobi Necro, and Infinite Impermanence. So this is another really good hand, and we'll see what we can do with this. So we would start off with our Foxy Tune in this case. You can use its effect to send itself. I'm going to turn this off again. And then we're going to send our Shinobi Necro, which is really important because now we don't have to mill it off of the Chaos Ruler, which is really great. And then we're going to summon our copy of Z Almond. You can notice that most of the combos tend to start the same way, where we pay 600 with Z Almond. We're going to add our Sharakusai to hand. The normal summon the Sharakusai and use its effect once again, paying 600. And this time, like I had mentioned in the first combo, we're going to fuse the 2 other punks, leaving the Sharakusai on the field so you can see what I meant about having that extra body. You would also be able to activate your Z Almond here to boost the attack of a monster. I'll do it just for an example here. It doesn't really come up usually in the initial combo, but if you ever summon it back off of your Deer Note or something like that, you can do that. So we'll go ahead and use the effect of Rising Carp here. We're going to go ahead and summon our Wagon and our Deer Note. And then these 2 are going to go ahead and do this. We're going to pay 600, add the Jam Extreme Session to hand. And so now we have a couple of options here. We could either go into our Chaos Ruler, which is probably what we'll end up doing, because in Master Duel, since we have Chaos Ruler, it tends to be more important just getting access to it, getting more cards in the graveyard. But you could also go into your copy of the Jam Dragon Drive if you wanted to get more disruptions. So in this case, we will go into... We'll go Jam Dragon Drive, actually, just so you guys can see it. So we'll go ahead and do that. And now we have Jam Dragon Drive, and so we'll pay 600 off of the Jam Dragon Drive, and we're going to use the Deer Note effect. Deer Note is actually going to summon back the Rising Carp. Not that it really matters what you summon back off of the Deer Note in this case, but we're going to search for our Madam Spider. And now we'll get our first draw off of the Jam Extreme Session. Then we're going to use Jam Extreme Session here. And I would banish one of your Deer Notes. You want to keep your level 8s, which are your lights and darks. And you want to make sure that if your Rising Carp is ever in the grave, you want to make sure to keep that, because on follow-up plays, you can actually bring it back and use its ability that if it's used as a synchro material, the monster that it synchro summons can make a second, you can target a punk monster and can make a second attack. So you want to make sure to keep that. Then we'll use our effect here. We're going to search for the trap card, and we're going to draw another card off of the Extreme Session. So now we have another Gizmekarochi. And so you can actually, if you want to, continue to go off here. So now we'll just go this into this. And you might be wondering, well, what are we going to do with these? You'll see those in a second. And now we'll use the Zombie Vampire. We're going to send the Jam Dragon Drive. It's important that this is engraved because it allows you to special summon it back if your opponent responds to a P.U.N.K effect. And we got lucky and we hit the Foxy Tune here. So now we can go ahead and Synchro Summon into our Amazing Dragon using those two. You want to leave the Sharakusai in particular on the field, because remember that Sharakusai's effect to Synchro Summon can be used during your opponent's turn, so you want to make sure that it's on the field to do that. So in this combo example, we end with 2 Infinite Impermanence, a Dangerous Gabu, an Amazing Dragon just kind of sitting on the field, but then you also have a Sharakusai to make an Amazing Dragon on their turn, and you'll have 1, 2, 3, 4 bounces because of the Amazing Dragon counting the number of psychics. You'll also have a Zombie Vampire that on the next turn can excavate or mill 4 more from each deck and let you get further in, and you have Gizmek. So that's just another example of another like really basic combo you can do with this deck. Alright, so this is going to be a going second combo just to kind of show you guys what the deck can do going second. Again, we're in the practice tool, so take this with a grain of salt. Obviously, things are different in actual duels, but this is just to show you how easily this deck can push through multiple lines of defense potentially and just OTK your opponent. So this hand has Ghost Ogre, Deer Note, Foxy Tune, Ogre Dance, Teleport, and Pot of Desires, which is a pretty powerful hand going second. So I would lead off with the Ogre Dance here. We're going to discard it, and we're going to go ahead and grab our Wagon. Turn that off. And we're going to normal summon Wagon, activate its effect, and we're going to go ahead and grab our Jam Extreme Session. So here you've got a lot of different options. With the Jam Extreme Session, you can actually go straight into your Chaos Ruler. You could summon your copy of... You could summon a Xiamen off of Teleport. You could summon so many different things here with Foxy Tune. So I think what I would do here, just for this example, is we're going to go ahead and we're going to use Xiamen's effect. We're going to pay 600. We're going to search for our favorite card, Sharakusai. We're going to draw a card off of the Jam Extreme Session. And what's really cool here is you'll notice too that this is only used in normal summon, and we're already at 9 cards. So now we'll use our field spell, banishing the Ogre Dance, to special summon Sharakusai. And now you'll use Sharakusai's effect, and we're going to summon Rising Carp. So with the Rising Carp, we're going to use this, and let's use... Let's go ahead and use Xiamen. I would leave Wagon on the field in this case, just in case they had like an infinite impermanence to target the Rising Carp. You could get a draw off the Wagon, which is pretty cool. We'll go ahead and draw our card. And we're not going to use the Xiamen here yet. We drew another Foxy Tune, which is pretty ridiculous. So actually, in that case, because we know that we have so many, we have access to so many Foxy Tunes, first we're going to summon our Deer Note and our Madam Spider from our deck. And we're going to use the Madam Spider. Madam Spider will search for the Dangerous Gabu just to give us yet another card to potentially discard. But it's important here actually to note that if you use Deer Note's effect to special summon from the graveyard when it's sent to the graveyard, you can't actually summon a Deer Note for the rest of the turn. So before we do that, we're actually going to use a Deer Note in our hand, revealing itself in another Foxy Tune to special summon the Deer Note. So now we have 2 Deer Notes to work with. And that's really important because if we didn't, we wouldn't be able to make another level 8 synchro or anything like that. So you want to make sure you do that. Then we will take our Madam Spider and our Deer Note, make them into a Chaos Ruler in this case. You'll notice a lot of these combos revolve around Chaos Ruler milling cards. It's because it's just really powerful. This is a graveyard-oriented deck. You really want to be able to make sure you get to your cards in the graveyard. So now we'll bring back our Rising Carp. And we're going to excavate our 5 cards. And at this point, honestly, it doesn't really matter. So we missed, and that's actually completely fine. Because what we're going to do here is we're going to activate Foxy Tune. And the main thing we're going to be looking to do here is get rid of this Shinobi Necro from our hand. We'll summon Z-Amin in defense position. And now we're going to Synchro Summon into the Amazing Dragon. And there's just so many chain links to use here. So we have chain link 1 being Amazing Dragon because we have, how many names we have? 1, 2, 3, we have 3 different names, so we get to return 3 different cards. And then we can use the Rising Carp targeting this Amazing Dragon so it can make 2 attacks this battle phase. And then we can use the Z-Amin, the effect that typically doesn't really matter, to boost attack. Now you can make your Amazing Dragon a 3600 double attacking monster that just bounced 3 cards. So now that's happened. And then we can go into a Psychic End Punisher. And this Deer Note doesn't really matter. You probably should have used the one that was in... You probably should use this one instead of the one that was in attack position. But there's a lot of different things you can do with it. But so here we can summon our Psychic End Punisher. And that's game already. But we're just going to go a little crazier. We're going to banish 2. We're going to summon back our Chaos Ruler. And now we're going to trigger our Shinobi Necro. And we're going to summon that to make a Baron de Fleur. So then as soon as the battle phase happens, you already have game in multiple ways. But one really cool thing is, because you're paying so many life points because of your P.U.N.K effects, I have it off so I couldn't automatically trigger it, but your Psychic End Punisher would actually be able to gain the 2400 point difference here and be at 5900 for game. So that's just a quick example of one of the ways that you can OTK your opponent. I'll do one more hand with this, and then that'll be the end of the combo video. And again, if you guys like this sort of content, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and get us to 50 likes on this, and I'll do live Duel videos. Alright, everybody, we're back, and look at this hand again. You know, we're going second, and alright, I guess they're just gonna inflict 500 damage to me for no reason. Alright, then. Anyway, moving on. So we're in the practice tool again. We've got another hand that doesn't look too stellar, but we actually can do quite a bit with it. And, of course, we open up with our Jam Extreme session. We're going to use our Foxy Tune here, and we're going to discard, in this case, the Infinite Impermanence with it. Now, remember, in real duels, you're going to have to contend with Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, Effect Veiler, Infinite Impermanence of their own, Maxi, things like that. So you want to make sure to take those into account when you are making your plays to make them as optimally as you can. But we're going to go ahead and summon our Z-Amin here, and we're going to pay 600 off of Z-Amin's effect. And I'm actually going to go ahead and grab Ogre Dance. And this is just to help deck thin some more. We'll use the effect of Jam Extreme Session to draw a card, and we'll use Ogre Dance to send itself. And I think we're just going to go ahead and grab Madam Spider. We're going to go ahead and skip the fusion part of this particular game because we've done it in every single one, so you get the idea behind that. So I want to show that you can actually do this without having to fusion at all. So now we've used our Jam Extreme Session twice. We've gotten both of our draws off of it already, so that's good to go on that end. And so now we can use our Deer Note in hand, and we'll go ahead and reveal Foxy Tune. And we're going to go ahead and special summon the Deer Note. You could also reveal the Z-Amin if you wanted to keep the Madam Spider as a potential material later on. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to Synchro Summon for our Chaos Ruler, the Chaotic Magical Archfiend, or Chaotic Magical Dragon. I don't know why I said Archfiend. And now we're going to go ahead and do our bread and butter plays of activating Chaos Ruler and activating Deer Note. We're going to go ahead and bring back the Foxy Tune. And we're going to summon off, we're going to Excavate 5 off of the Chaos Ruler. Let's see what we get. We hit the Shinobi Necro, so you guys already know exactly where we're going with this line of play. I actually probably shouldn't have added this to hand. I think that was a big mistake here. I don't necessarily know that I can get past that. I think I might have just made a critical error. That may have been a big error. But luckily... Now I have to think about this, actually. So by adding the Shinobi Necro to my hand, I think I might have just screwed up the combo, and I might not be able to kill them. Well, let's see what we get. We're going to go ahead and we're going to overlay for our zombie vampire, and we're going to hope to just maybe hit another Shinobi Necro off of it. We're going to go ahead and detach our Chaos Ruler, and let's see if we get punished. We did not get punished. Alright. So, thank goodness for that, because that would have been really bad. Typically, I would not have added here, actually. I think I goofed. There's no I think. I goofed here. I should not have added the Shinobi Necro. Luckily, we got lucky and milled another copy. And so we can go ahead and synchro summon into our copy of Amazing Dragon. And we're going to return the cards to their hand. And this is actually... I'm going to keep this in just to show, actually, just how powerful these cards are. Even after making such a colossal mistake like using that effect to add the Shinobi Necro to hand, which was absolutely incorrect, you can still do quite a bit. We're going to go ahead and banish our copy of Shinobi Necro and our Foxy Tune from the grave and summon our Chaos Ruler back yet again. That's also a good reason actually to play multiple copies of the Shinobi Necro, because it's not only a good card to discard off the Foxy Tune, but you want to maximize the chances that you maybe banish it. And so, in this case, we're just going to go ahead and do this, because we're about to banish more cards. So let's say all of this fell apart, and you just wanted, you're just trying to flex in your opponent. Well, now you get to activate your Gizmekarochi, special summon it, and we still have our field spell to banish a copy of Jam Extreme Session, to special summon our copy of Xiamen, and now we get to make our Psychic End Punisher. These are definitely not the most efficient combos either. Again, this is just to kind of show you the power of these cards. And as you can see, even with that giant mistake of adding the Shinobi Necro to hand, which never should have happened, we're still able to play completely fine and go to the battle phase, use our Psychic End Punisher's effect, gain the attack, and our opponent would just be completely decimated at this point. So if you guys want to see some more Duel videos or anything like that, please let me know. I hope you all enjoyed this. If you have any questions, let me know down below. And until next time, thank you.